Fox News alert millions of American families.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us for CBN News Watch. I'm George Thomas. We begin with the latest.
Here at St. John's Basketball March.
There are certainly a lot of efforts here at the LAPD and experts say.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us for CBN News Watch. I'm George Thomas. We begin with the latest in the coronavirus pandemic. Number of cases here in the U.S.
Welcome to Rise to Liberty Podcast, the best podcast you've never heard of, fighting for free speech and spreading the message of liberty. Find us at risetoliberty.com for everything related to the show, including our merch, social media, episode player, and much more. risetoliberty.com/blue dress for a special piece of merchandise that a portion of the proceeds will be donated to savethechildren.org to help fight child trafficking. Thomas Queter is rolling for New York State Senate. The people of District 52 have been used and abused by a bloated and corrupt government. Thomas has been fighting his whole life and is now taking the fight to the ones responsible. Give the people of District 52 a fighting chance and head over to tomfor52.com and leave a donation. Greasy Porcupine's Mobile Auto Repair, helping the people of Arizona to maintain or repair their vehicles for a reasonable price. Little money, no money, Greasy Porcupines still wants to help. Open Monday through Saturday, 24 hours a day. Just visit greasyporcupines.org or call 602-845-0105. Now, today on the show, got a really interesting guest that met on Clubhouse. It was a really interesting conversation that led our paths to cross. Everybody, welcome, Bishop. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. It's good to be here, Jake.
Yeah, thank you for coming on. It was, didn't have a whole lot of time to prepare, but, got to do what you got to do. So
yeah, stay flexible.
Yeah, exactly. So, do you believe in Santa? Let's just get right down to it.
Of course I do. Of course I do. I mean, anyone who's watched movies, seen films, gone outside during the holidays knows that Santa exists. You see him on every corner of every street. Yet sometimes you still get these people that swear he doesn't exist. So it's strange, It's strange what a lack of faith Americans have sometimes, and something that we all know is real.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. He's revealed himself to me. I haven't seen him as much as some other people, but I still believe in him.
Yeah, he's revealed himself to me multiple times. One of his common misnomers is that Santa is actually a white man with blue eyes. Santa appears to you in whatever form you can understand or you most want. Generally, he appears to you in the same ethnicity you are. When I saw Santa, he had gorgeous olive skin and the most beautiful green eyes, just like mine.
That's awesome. Yeah, it's really interesting, especially the people who actually come forward and say that they don't believe in Santa, and their reasoning why. So just a little backstory for everyone listening. This was the Clubhouse room topic was, is Santa real or not? And that's really what led the discussion, and it was a really great discussion. Kind of broke up the monotony of the social spheres of Clubhouse. So it was really great. Honestly.
Are your listeners aware of Clubhouse? Clubhouse literate?
Yeah, some of them.
Yeah. So yeah, we ran a room on Clubhouse. The impetus for this was a few days ago, probably a week ago or so. Someone had brought up the critique that why don't atheists ever debate the existence of Santa? They only want to debate the existence of God. And I thought, what a brilliant observation. So we started a room for debate the existence of Santa. I think it was, is Santa real? Come debate now. And the idea was that we'd once and for all get to the bottom of this issue. And without rehearsing or anything, all the atheists and agnostics kind of took the position that, of course, Santa is real. I mean, we have so much evidence for him. How could he not be real? And then our theistic friends in the room took the position that they didn't believe in Santa either because Santa had not revealed himself to them, or there wasn't enough evidence to believe, or that they'd been hurt by Santa in the past and now were unable to believe in him. Something to that effect. So it was an interesting debate. It went for like almost 3 hours, like 2.5 hours. We had I know over 100 people in the room, but at one point on stage we had like over 20, maybe 25 people on the stage, which is way too many. But it was a good conversation, and I thought it was interesting to see how people kind of posed the role of a presuppositionist, a Santa presuppositionist, and it was It was fascinating. And I got a lot of positive feedback. People liked it. We finally had a debate room that didn't get all bloody and emotional and violent.
Yeah, exactly. For anyone who doesn't know, Clubhouse, it's interesting. It kind of goes in waves. Definitely discussions of what's popular, what's in the news, big events, all these things. And, of course, recently it's all been nothing but COVID, Rittenhouse, and NFTs. Cryptocurrency as always. So it was really nice just to have a semi-serious conversation that, started out silly and
semi-serious. We had a semi-serious conversation if Santa existed.
Well, I mean, look at how it turned out though. Like people were starting to take the conversation in a direction that, like if the rules weren't to keep religion or politics out of there, it was pretty much the same discussion.
Yeah, I thought what was fascinating for me was listening to the things the theists thought atheists said as far as why they didn't believe in God. And it made me realize that there's a lot of, a lot of times people are just repeating stuff they've heard before without really understanding what they're saying as a response to arguments, a response to critique. And I think it was a reminder to everybody to, hey, be a little bit more aware of what you're saying exactly, and don't be so quick just to shoot someone down when they bring up an opposing opinion. I'm not really into debating atheists or debating theists, but what I do enjoy is understanding better why people believe or don't believe. I think that, there are evangelical atheists out there. They're trying to change everybody to shed their religion. I am not one of those at all.
Yeah.
I think if religion is serving you well and it's giving you peace and strength and purpose, then fucking keep on following that path. Keep on doing it.
Yeah.
If it's not, find something else, But I'm at my peace. I was raised very religious. I'm at peace with my lack of religion now. But I think a lot of atheists aren't yet. So they're up there like debating fervently to kind of they're arguing to because they want to kind of clarify what they believe and why they believe it. But I stopped doing that a while ago.
Yeah, I ended up getting to a point where it's a personal decision. I can't make somebody else's decisions for them. And I'm just going to do me, it's hard enough to just live, I can't be super concerned with, random people I'll probably only talk to once,
Yeah.
And I would say I'm more on the, agnostic side. If I have to put a label to anything, I'm not thoroughly convinced that there is the existence of a omnipotent deity, but if something came down from the heavens that wasn't an alien and said, I am God, like it would be really hard for me to rationalize that and be like,
You'd
oh,
at least pay
that's
attention
not.
for a little bit. You'd be like, you know what? I'm going to hear you out and listen to what you have to say, supreme being from the heavens. I'm just not going to quickly say, no, you don't exist.
Yeah.
Let's hear your spiel. Go ahead.
Yeah, exactly. But if you start asking me for money, then I know the jig is up.
Yeah. I try to be patient with people and realize that the reason some atheists are debating, or some theists are debating, it's atheists generally are debating because both atheists weren't raised atheistic, and they've come to this atheism they're embracing now as a new ideology from their old religion, and they're debating people, kind of debating themselves, like trying to figure out why they believe or don't believe the way they do. And then theists, I think if theists the same way, they start getting a little doubt in their head, and they want to start debating these things they've heard from their imam or their pastor or their rabbi, and they want to see how they go in these rooms. But I'm trying to be very patient.
Yeah.
There was a time where I'd be like, motherfucker, we've heard the same argument, about, atheists have no morality, no objective morality, like once a day, every day for the last 3 fucking weeks, get the fuck off the stage, and now I'm just like, chill out, like, hey, he doesn't know yet. Chill the fuck out, just mod, be quiet, let someone else deal with it, So I had to really come to terms, like, the reason I'm on Clubhouse is to learn more about how to be more tolerant towards the people, how to be able to listen to other people, be able to relate to people better that aren't the same as me. Rather than trying to change everybody into being like me,
Yeah, that makes sense. And that's a perfect platform to be able to do that on. Like,
oh, yeah.
It's just social audio. The one thing I've always hated about social media is that it's just like typed out words and pictures and little emojis that they, program to be able to click on like it's some sort of a game or something,
It's impersonal.
Yeah.
Like when I have to use my voice, there's a certain personal touch to it. It's me speaking the words. What I really liked is, like, I left Facebook. I deleted my Facebook account in February. But when on Facebook, I have these debate groups I've been part of for like 4 or 5 years. But like whatever you say, they can just go to Google your response, Google an answer, Control-C, Control-V, and now they look, they're smart, they know what they're saying. They'll say, well, I try to get over to Clubhouse, they won't debate. They won't come over. They want to be able to copy, paste shit. They don't know this stuff on their own. They're a little Google warrior, they Google shit and then paste it. So it's been nice for like cutting through the bullshit too, because you have to answer on your feet, like answer for your position on your feet. I think it forces you to strengthen your beliefs or to shut the fuck up about them.
Oh, yeah.
And realize that you may not be as certain as you thought you were, and kind of to help short things up, be more open-minded. But yeah, Clubhouse has been great for me too. I'm using it to workshop a book I'm working on and be able to get feedback from people, like realizing, oh, this is a bullshit chapter and no one gives a fuck about this. Keep this out. And other stuff where it's like I got huge rooms and it's growing and growing. People want to talk more and more about this issue that I thought was just stupid, but probably wasn't going to put it in. And I realized it carries a lot of weight with people to actually put this one in. And I couldn't have done it without Clubhouse. You can't do that on Facebook. You need like multiple voices that are interested in what you're doing to tell you that it's quality. So yeah, I like it.
Yeah, it's been one of definitely one of my favorite social. I guess it's a social media. I mean, it's a form of media. It's social. So yeah, I guess social media. It's just so different. And I know that like Twitter has like Twitter Spaces or whatever now. I know a lot of people have gone over there.
Doesn't Spotify have a platform like it too? Like some
Green
rooms
Room.
or
Green Room. Yeah.
Yeah.
It pretty much fell flat on its face. Like it was really big for a minute. They were rewarding the users of Green Room with like some sort of like Spotify dollar or something. Like it didn't really have any value. It wasn't a crypto. It wasn't any
for
of these
attendance.
things. Yeah,
basically credits towards Spotify gear, swag.
Yeah, but
music.
They just took them away one day, and they like didn't do anything. So you got all these people like building up their stock of all this like fake currency, and then all of a sudden they just disappear overnight, and everyone's like, "Screw
Spotify
this."
did that.
Yeah,
Spotify, and those users then they deleted their Spotify account and walked away.
Yeah.
Did they? Most stay. I bet you most of them stay, man.
I mean, I still have a Spotify account, but
like, fuck this, fuck Spotify. What's some music now?
Yeah. I gotta go listen to Joe Rogan.
That's all humans. We all do that, man. Like, fuck this company. But God, the services are kind of nice, and changing my account be a lot of effort. I'll just stay.
It's not that expensive.
We're so weak. We all are.
No, it's true. Honestly, being on Clubhouse though has kind of like made me realize that in a lot of aspects. There's some extremely intelligent people out there with some really well thought out ideas that have spent the time to really, focus inward. And there's also on the other side of things, just some ignorant, I don't even know what to classify them as.
On there. They're like snake oil salesmen. They have no credential. They're trying to sell you some bullshit book.
Yeah.
It's just, it happens. But I kind of feel like they become more apparent on Clubhouse than they would on Facebook.
Yeah.
It's easier to tell the bullshit for the people that are like way out of people that are way smarter than me are on Clubhouse. I love following, listening to them talk and stuff, but I got to get a dictionary at the source out when they're talking, Google shit because I have no idea what the fuck they're talking about. And I studied philosophy in college, and I still have no idea what they're talking about. And so that's nice. On Facebook, I wouldn't know, just a bunch of text. I might not read it, but hear a voice that sounds, they're sure of what they're saying. They're speaking with very few words. They're speaking laconically, not verbose at all. And you're like, that person knows the fuck they're talking about. Yeah. And you're like, those people I love following, but they're hard to find. I probably got like a dozen, 2 dozen online that are really way above my pay grade as far as intelligence goes.
Yeah.
But the ones that you have to deal with, the ones that aren't, and there's some that like they consistently irritate me, but I intentionally don't block, don't mute, because really it's not their fault. There's things about me, like things that like really irritate the fuck out of me, and it's not you, it's me, and I know that. So I'll keep them around just a way of like, this. You learn to be at peace with this person. Remember, you used to be like that. Now you're not, but you need to be at peace with it. Don't mute them. Don't boot them. Be kind to them. And sometimes I'm good at that. And sometimes I'm like, bro, I get the fuck out of my room and don't come back for like 2 days. It could be 2 days to get the fuck off my stage, please.
Yeah.
They come back and I'm like, he's still sitting around. He's still hanging out with me. Even if I put him on a 2-day timeout, give him some space. He's teaching you a lot.
That's nicer than some people though. Like there's been a mass like reporting going on. Like people will be in a room somewhere, somebody will say something super inflammatory and somebody will take it wrong. They'll get upset, and then whoever gets upset, them and all of their cronies will go along and just mass report somebody, so they end up getting banned. It's one of the flaws of the platform, in my opinion, is just there's no really like review of things, of how things happen.
Well, there's supposed to be. There's supposed to be that if you get reported for anything that has to do with harassment of speech, anything besides like fake name, they won't replay it for fake name. They'll replay it. They'll listen to it. Supposedly, everybody gets a review for something like that. Supposedly, I don't know if there's enough for that. But that's also just, especially in modding, you could potentially piss a lot of people off in a room for modding the wrong way, and have a little troll crew that decides they don't like you and they want everybody to mass report you, and that does happen. But you can worry about everything you say on the stage, and always be a little pensive and afraid, or you just realize that eventually you're going to get your account deleted, and you're going to start the fuck over. And if you don't like that, maybe delete your account now. You know what I mean? Right. Like, it's going to happen.
Well, and just somebody will just open up a Google Voice account and just open up a new account anyway.
Yeah, there'll be a new account, but you lose all your followers. I've got a black badge already because people have done it to me. For some people that look at my account, if they unfriend me and unfollow and follow me, they can see the black badge there. I have no notifications. No one's told me what that was for. I have no idea. I do know many people that have blocked me, but generally it's like, I'll be modding, I'll say something that they don't like. Or I'll say like, hey, you need to be like, can you please like try to summarize your point in 2-3 more sentences for the room, just so we can move to the next person. How the fuck are you going to tell me blah, 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 blah? Okay, you're just being a little verbose. If you could just pare it down a little bit so we all can focus on what you're saying, I'd appreciate it. Motherfucker, you're ugly, you're this, you're that, you grow a personality, bump in the black channels, and then they'll leave and block me. That's happened to 2 people. That's happened. So, like, it's only 2, though. I'm sure I've had a lot more than that. But generally, there are a lot of people that are kind of, not real stable in that app, too, which is fine. I mean, whatever. I don't give a fuck. If I get deleted, I'll start a new account. I don't care.
Exactly. Me too.
Or I'll quit. Whatever. I don't know.
Also, Clubhouse, pay us for this awesome ad that we're doing for your platform.
We love you. Please don't ban me.
Exactly.
I should state that I am legally changing my first name to Bishop.
Hell yeah.
My real first name I never use. No one calls me that except the IRS and the Sheriff's Department. My mom doesn't call me that. My ex doesn't call me that. No one in town calls me that. No employer calls me that. No friends call me that. So I'm just going to change it to Bishop.
Might as well. Sheriff's Department, IRS.
If they'd have called you, but hey, is Bishop there? Yes, I am. Yeah. In the past, they say my name. It's like, oh fuck, who is this? I don't know. Is he who's calling?
Yeah, exactly. That's when things are about to get real.
That's the nice way of having a first name you don't use. If you just go like your middle name or a nickname. Yeah. Is when people do call you by that name, they aren't your people.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. So, Let's break away from Clubhouse a little bit. We were discussing this before we started recording. You said that you've kind of removed yourself from like the political sphere, without telling too much about you, like you're not here or anything. You said that you were a veteran, and you what was it that you were raised Christian or raised religious, and then have gone against that now. You've had I don't know what you would call it, a change of heart, or
I left my church. I left the church. Yeah, that's what I call it. Yep, I was raised in a far right leaning, almost fundamentalist Christian family. I was homeschooled till like age 10. My dad was a Baptist pastor. My mom got divorced. She married a Lutheran priest. Missouri Synod, which is like the conservative Lutheran. So it was a very conservative childhood. I joined the Army right after high school. I joined the infantry. I was at 2nd Ranger Battalion before I got kicked out. Never went to combat, though. I got out right before 9/11. And when I went to college for philosophy, there were a lot of philosophical questions that I didn't think atheists had an answer to, like, what does it mean in life? Where does morality come from? Stuff like that. And then as I realized that it all kind of started to work without God, I just kind of like decided to leave my church. There were some problems with the morality my church taught. It just it seemed very narrow-minded to me. I didn't respect it, so I had to go. Yeah. And at the time, I was very religious. I was praying to figure out what's the right thing to do, and I literally felt that God was leading me to go away from the church and find my own path. And the farther I got away from him, the more I realized it all works without him. Yeah. So I live as an atheist. I don't have a religion or a God, but I'm hoping for a judgment day. Yeah. I love to meet God. I think it'd be a cool meeting, be a fun conversation to have with him. So I'm very pro God. I don't live my life as if there isn't one. I lean a little bit satanic, I'd say at times in the new new atheistic perspective, but I stopped watching the news back in February. Completely, like all my news alerts were turned off, news apps were deleted. I deleted my weather apps. I don't know. I'll ask Siri what the weather is, but I don't follow any of that stuff. No Twitter, Facebook's gone. The only thing I have is Instagram. Everything else is gone. I think Reddit's been deleted. Everything's gone, and I just needed to like stop being distracted by shit that I couldn't affect. National politics. My little voice doesn't mean anything in national politics. So, so I spend time with my kids. I spend time with friends. I spend time at home. I don't watch TV. Hulu, Netflix. I don't watch ads though either. I can't deal with ads. So, my YouTube account, Hulu account, they're all paid for with no ads. All that shit. So I just had to sequester myself because it's like this world will fight for your attention every fucking second. And you're so focused on the rest of the world, you can't focus on yourself or your family, your kids, your health. And I realized that when I stopped following the news, stopped following politics, stopped following the weather, I had a lot of fucking free time left. A lot of time for Clubhouse, a lot of time for the gym, a lot of time for art, just time for doing like something like really felt like living. I deleted Facebook because I was pissed off at that fucking app. I just was for whatever reason, I knew that my perception of the world was being controlled because I was on Facebook too much, and my feed was being controlled by AI, and me and all my friends were seeing the exact same fucking stories. So I felt like I was in a big school of fish. They show, it's like a bunch of screens. They show the one story, and all of a sudden change the fish for the direction is a different story. And then the story changes again. This fish changes directions again. And like I fight this little tiny fish in a big school. I was like, I bring no value to anyone being a little tiny fish in a big school. I really like here and be ignorant about what happened with Kyle Rittenhouse, ignorant about Afghanistan, ignorant about how good of a job Joe Biden's doing, or what if Trump's running again. Like I have no fucking idea about any of that shit, and it's great. If I want to know anything, I can ask you. I can ask any friend. If I really want to know, I'll probably ask Siri too. But that shit I don't have to worry about anymore. And it's kind of fucked me on not following the weather and shit a couple times, but I'll be good. Yeah. So right. I'm outside the political spectrum now. If it's local, like in town local, I'll probably get involved if it's something that I'm educated on and I understand what the intent is of the protest. Otherwise, I'm not getting involved anymore. I was in Portland for the BLM protests. I'm a criminal justice major. I've worked for police departments, which seems really strange which way I lean politically right now. But but I believe in I believe in professional policing. Pure enough. I believe that we have too many police that are not trained enough, and that we have a system that they kill white and black kids, If you took every single non-white person the police have killed in the U.S. and you just have the white people over the entire population, black, blue, the other color, cops still in this country kill more people per capita than any other country in the fucking world. Okay, so if you're not fucking black, even if you're a racist piece of shit, you should still worry because they're killing white kids too. They're killing your kids too, and it's fucked up that we have a culture like this. And it's not.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily blame the cops. I blame us. We've had bullshit buddy cop movies for 20 fucking years. Just Dirty Harry.
Yeah.
We love the cop that breaks the rules and shoots a suspect
Starsky and Hutch.
steals drugs. What the fuck is wrong with us? Like we love Billy the Kid. Like we created the police department we liked.
Training Day.
We really did.
Training Day is a perfect example.
Same shit and all that stuff. We're like, yeah, like we idolize these people, these road cops, you know. So like. It's not. It sucks. It needs to change. It has to change. And I had a police captain tell me when I was in college. I asked him about do you ever think that the police in the U.S. will be like mandated they wear body cameras to record what's going on at all times, like for audio and video? And I asked him this back in 2002, and he told me the story. It happened here in a town of about 180,000 people. They got a big federal grant in the 70s to track all the police cars. They had these transponders that they put into a type of phone poles, millions of dollars worth of infrastructure rolled out to put this thing in place. And it was a trial to see about testing cars for dispatch and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
So what happened was the test ultimately failed because equipment costs, because replacement costs were so high, and certain officers,
Repair
transponder,
costs, that sort of
kept
thing.
breaking every time his shift started or at some point in his shift. They kept breaking. So the police officers, the police culture does not like accountability. They want as little paperwork as possible for them to do the right thing. Now, the thought process is, you hire me to do the right job. Trust me, I'll do the job. What we know is that one bad cop all of a sudden makes all those motherfuckers look corrupt because the system allowed him to do it. We start thinking, well, wait, how many other guys do this not getting caught as well? Right? We start thinking that with zero justification. Yeah. But that's where our brain goes. So it's like the system is really fucked up right now. It's got to change. There are too many people killed by the cops, and the cops don't go to jail for it. Too many. But this change is going to be slow and gradual. We have to be patient with it and realize that we need police officers. We're not saying get rid of all the fucking cops. We need someone to hold the order. We need that. At the same time, we've got to make sure that the police officers aren't being violent towards people that don't deserve violence. You know, that's all. And you know, after the protest, I was pretty upset because I saw the fallout and I wasn't happy with it. But you know, that's the way it goes. Like. The struggle for equality. We talked about this earlier. The struggle for justice. It's ongoing. It doesn't stop. You fight what's right and realize that you may not win today, but maybe your kids or grandkids or great grandkids move the ball past the touchdown line. And that's what you want.
Well, see, I try to be more understanding because obviously, like I don't like watching a city burn. You know, like regardless of whatever the reasoning. But I understand the anger and the hostility. Like I get it. I just think it's a very poor reaction. It doesn't solve anything. Definitely, there needs to be some police reform. Need to abolish qualified immunity. No knock warrants. Like these are some of the biggest issues. Need to strengthen and. Just strengthen the qualifications of what it would take to be a police officer.
I'm okay with like cutting headcount and increasing pay. If you want to cut their headcount at 50% and increase their pay by like 20-30%, I'm fine with that. Like I'm fine with making these positions be a position of like prestige, authority, and respect. But at the same time, realizing that I would like a citizen review board of every police shooting, every police killing. Actually, if someone dies in your custody, you need to realize, great, there's going to be a citizen review of this. Yeah, that's right. So anytime you're handling someone, be careful. Be cautious. We're just done paying lawsuits out to families because you couldn't keep your suspect alive. Yeah. Like, fuckhead, keep him alive.
Yeah, there needs to be oversight in that. If somebody... Now, I am very pro-Second Amendment. You know, I come from the stance that... any gun law is an infringement, you know, like I don't want any gun control, period. And I know that's kind of radical for some people, but if somebody is carrying a gun around for their job, due to it being a requirement, possibly, I would definitely like to know what that person is up to and if they can be trusted with that sort of responsibility. There needs to be some sort of, oh no, I lost you.
I was gonna say they don't have qualified immunity.
Yeah.
So like that's the thing with someone that's private security. You're right. Like if they are involved in a shooting, guess what? They get their fucking asses sued. They lose everything.
Yeah.
And like the city of Chicago, when you have a city like Chicago that pays out like millions of dollars in lawsuits every year for police misconduct, how much would they love to save those millions of dollars? Tell the cops, guess what? You're getting your own insurance. And you know what? The insurance companies would fucking love it too.
Mm-hmm.
It's more revenue for them. You know what I mean? But police don't want to change, and that would cause a lot more oversight of law enforcement. It just would. But I mean, we've gone step by step more and more oversight, and I don't feel like any oversight so far in the last 100 years has been bad. I feel like it's helped us trust the police more, you know. And I worked at the police department as an intern for a while, and I had this. I worked a little over 1,000 hours, and every cop I worked with, I'd ask him, "What percentage of your peers is unfit to carry a badge?" As a survey question.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Spicy.
yeah. The lowest number I heard was someone said 5 to 10%. I'm sorry, 10 to 20% was the lowest I heard. A lot of people said 20%. Way more, too many people said a third, like a fifth. So even at 10%, that's bad.
That's a lot of people.
That is bad. But a cop's idea of not fit doesn't mean they're gonna like necessarily commit some sort of violence on some suspect. It's like either they're too fat, too weak, too dumb, too violent. There's something that makes them not quite qualified. But the thing is, I've never worked for a company where we thought that percentage of my peer group should not be here.
Yeah.
So in a lot of ways, cops should be more critical in some ways of their peers. People outside the department are going to be generally.
Yeah.
If you were to take our average person, you know, like a truly statistical sampling of an American, the statistical sampling of a police officer in America, they are going to be somewhat critical of the way officers do things. Because certain things they realize that was a dumb thing to say, or that was a dumb thing to do, or that's not SOP, or that's dangerous, the citizen may not see. And this group of officers at that high rate tells me that, you know, our hiring practices or retention practices is a big place we need to focus on. But I'm sort of moved from that community now. Like I left law enforcement for the private sector. It's not even a thing for me anymore. It's just something that I feel very strongly about. And I have a lot of friends that are cops this day. I have some friends that are cops that shouldn't be cops, you know. But most of my friends, all but one, honestly, they're all good guys. They're young. They're more liberal than I am too. Like they call themselves conservative, but they aren't. They're conservative on gun control, maybe, and who they vote for. But all the rest of their issues, like they're pro-trans, pro-LGBTQ, even pro-BLM, honestly. But they consider themselves conservative. So, I mean, the cops I see coming, I see a much smarter, more educated group than when my friends and my peers are going to law enforcement. So that's a good thing.
So, 2 questions for you. First, what do you think of the idea of privatizing the police force, opening it up to competition, being able to choose multiple ones? If one police force isn't serving the community well, the community can turn around, fire them, and hire somebody else.
Yeah, entire departments, entire companies. That would give the public a lot of power. What are the potential drawbacks of that? Well, if you operate an organization for profit as opposed to performance, there could be some issues there where you're going to try to do things to cut payroll, cut training.
Yeah.
Now, some of it could be stuff you don't need; it's superfluous, but you potentially could hurt yourself as well. I like the amount of public control it have. I do. I would really like to see citizen reviews of shootings or killings, and I mean, what I'd really like to see federal reviews. Anyone does in custody, the feds come in and they investigate that death to make sure it's on top, because no one wants the feds poking around their department. So don't kill anybody.
Yeah.
I can't support that idea because I was the way I was like trained or schooled or indoctrinated was that it's kind of like that silver the silver class in Plato's Republic, as far as it's that group that is there to serve and take care of the bronze or brass, whatever it's called, copper, whatever. And so I really do like it. Like in my mind, in some ways, it shouldn't be a business. It should be like serving your people. Like the badge represents to me public trust. It's public trust. They trust you to do the right thing. I feel like there's more there than like I'm here working for, you know, triple canopy
Yeah.
or Blackwater or whatever else.
Yeah, there's definitely some issues with it being based solely on profit, but if it was just profit, even still, you would still have to provide a good service, because otherwise the citizens would be able to turn around and be like, well, we're not paying you much, but here's the thing, you're providing
imagine Baltimore. Imagine Baltimore. Okay, well, Baltimore. Okay, let's imagine a different city besides Baltimore. The police department was unfairly critiqued by the citizen. Like there was a shitty that looks shitty, but the people that really know it, and once the trial comes through, everything comes through, it's gonna be good.
Yeah.
But the optics are horrible. For example, all the city wants everybody to resign. Like you could say a whole city wants to fire that corporation, and you have the stability of the laws to make sure you can't just be fired or can't just be kicked out.
Yeah, just for no reason.
You have to be trialed first. So I'd have to see more details of it, but I feel like right now our current program, current policing process needs overhaul, and that's really hard to do in law enforcement. They don't like it. So I'm hoping in small little things. The whole immunity would be great if police officers could be sued, or I mean, whatever. Then their insurance rate goes up. It's not like they'd be sued. They have to have insurance for that, and their rates potentially could go up. It could go up so high it was impossible for them to be a police officer. The thing is, if there are multiple insurance companies that are funding that or covering that for insurance, there's going to be competition. And just because one won't hire doesn't mean none won't hire. But if none will hire you, you shouldn't be a cop. Or your premiums are so fucking high that you can't be a cop. You probably shouldn't be a cop. Maybe go work
exactly.
or some shit,
All these different departments being able to communicate with each other, saying, "Hey, we fired this guy for this reason, so be on the lookout. Like he probably shouldn't work in your city."
Yeah, they don't do that now. I wish they did, but they don't. Yeah.
Well, and there's even been maybe it's just because it's been reported on more recently within the past few years, but it seems to be at least an increase of awareness of like idealistic police officers who go in for the right reasons. They see one of their peers acting immorally, and then they bring it to the attention of superiors, and then the person who rats gets fired.
Yep.
And then the corrupt cops stay in. Like that's a major issue. And then it's kind of like what you said earlier. It's not necessarily the police officers, the beat cops or whatever. It's usually the police's boss. It's the higher ups. It's always that top down system. And when you're at that bottom echelon, what are you gonna do? Like lose your job or you
have to. You quit and go someplace else, and cops do that.
Yeah, it's crazy. I'm glad to hear somebody so rational. One of the reasons I wanted to have you on was just because, like, at least the way that I view it, it's always, yes, there are race issues in this country, but race doesn't matter to me. And so all I see when police attack white, black, yellow, whatever, like it's just a fellow citizen to me. Yeah. It doesn't matter what color they are, like numbers, statistics, it's still the police coming in and fucking us up. So
have you looked at the reported statistical breakdown for ethnicity of police killings in this country versus the number 2 most killings of any country, which is Canada? The way that our ethnic groups, the ratio, I think it's like our ethnic groups are 2.2 or 2.5% more likely to be murdered than they should be based on their what percentage of the population they make up. Like it's like the Hispanic, Asian, and Black, like the size is bigger. The Asian thing wasn't Asian, it was Hispanic and Black. And then if you go to Canada and look at their killing rate up there to their population, it's the exact same over performance. So up there, Black also getting killed more often. So this supposedly non-racist country, people say, has the same problems we do. But you know what I think it is? And this is hopefully no one else hears this podcast except for you, me, and your one listener. But no, here's what I think it is. I'm gonna admit this right now. The last time I was walking down a street and a black man walking towards me and no one else out there, my heart rate got up a little bit, and it got up a little more when I realized he was black. It just did. It wasn't choice. It was subconscious, right? So I told this to a room in Clubhouse, And I said, honestly, seeing well, the thing, it was a small stage, though, small stage.
Okay.
And I think I was one of two white people on the stage. It was mostly black people. But
That's
I had
still
a
a
couple,
50-50 shot.
well, I was being honest. I wasn't like saying, like, I was being honest. Like, my heart rate goes up. I know nothing's wrong there, but my heart rate's going up. What the fuck's wrong with me? Like, I can't help it. When it's white, it's like, oh, whew, I don't know why, but I'm more calm. And two of the black guys on the stage told me the exact same thing. I said, I'm more nervous to see a black man walking past me than a white man walking towards me in the street. Now, that's just two. That means nothing. But what I do know is watching movies went back in the 90s before, the villains were generally dark-skinned. The bad guys there's little henchmen almost always were.
No.
Black and brown, those are the bad guys. Those are the cartel people. Those are the gangs in the U.S., like that's who we were shown. I mean, maybe
The
the
Outsiders
Goodfellas movies and stuff, but it was always dark skinned people. It's like and I don't care. You can say, well, we aren't going to be imprinted by that. But all those movies I watched for all those years, the bad guys are black. The bad guys are black. The bad guys are black. All of a sudden, like it's reinforced in me. And I think one reason that when a black person is killed a white person, and people in this country are more like, oh, it's okay, it's a black person. They know that fear too. They're like, oh, he obviously was frightened for his life. That kid had a cap gun in his hand. I mean, I don't blame him. I don't know. I mean, it's a scary kid. Yeah. I'm not sure why. It's just scary. I really think that there's something in our head that has made us more afraid of black people. And some of these old movies I watch, even, it's like your main characters are white. You surround them with colored people to show how open-minded they are. But still, the heroes are the white people. Like that, and they I know, like in the Jedi movie, like some people pissed off, like, oh, this Jedi movie is all like a United Colors of Benetton ad. It's all different colors, but like, you got to tell kids that just because you're black doesn't mean you're the bad guy all the time, right?
Yeah.
You have to reinforce their head that like, sometimes you're the good guy. I don't care the fuck you care about Hollywood and shit. We have had a past of very much whitewashed movies. Those movies are made for me and people with your skin color primarily. We were the ones those movies were made for. And all the other colored kids kind of watching like, yeah, it's a movie about white people doing awesome things.
Great, the black guy dies at the first of the horror movie.
I never knew this until I started watching movies that have this stuff like Black Panther. I'm like, man, this movie is like all black people except for those white people. Either one's a bad guy and one's a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, I get it. I get what you're saying now. Like, yeah, just I didn't.
Hold on,
didn't
let
see
me
it
take
until
off
that
my
movie.
rose-colored glasses. Yeah,
I didn't know that existed in our country. Like, really know until I saw Black Panther. No idea.
So let me ask you, how much of that do you think is on purpose, like some sort of like social engineering? Because obviously not
for
all of
Hollywood?
it. Well, yeah. I mean,
I think
obviously not
here's what
all
I
of
think.
it, but there is some
yeah.
very deliberate that seems very intentionally divisive.
Someone definitely made choices. They made choices with casting. You can't just accidentally cast a bunch of white people. Like, that's intent.
Yeah.
But if they're intending to make a message by that, I'm not sure. Are they trying to just take care of their semi-colored friends to hire? Are they trying to make something that the audience will want to watch, what the audience expects? I mean, yeah. I mean, there was a time when if you put a movie like Black Panther out, people would call it a black movie, and the white people wouldn't go see it.
Yeah.
So I mean, I feel like movies are going to do what they got to do to put asses in seats. So I don't think they really care. I mean, they need to be more liberal learning, because you know what? If you aren't liberal learning, you're not going to put liberal leaning. You won't put asses in seats. So you need to some way align with the culture, like see where they're going. If the culture is leaning LGBTQ friendly, guess what? So are you, because you're here to make money.
Yeah.
So I don't really think anything was intended as far as people trying to do social engineering. I think that we're just all, especially as white folk, kind of dumb sometimes and don't realize what we don't know, because it's so constant, we don't have to deal with it. Star Trek's all white people pretty much, and Next Generation, almost all white people. Like, so many of my shows growing up were almost all white people. Dukes of Hazzard, all white people. Why? They're living in the South.
Well, that's why like things like the Cosby Show and the Jeffersons were such a big deal,
It seems so great. But you know what? They were white families with black skin.
Yeah.
Well, at least Cosby was. Like, they were living in middle class. Like, everything they did there was relatable. The artists they went to.
Well, I will push back
relatable.
on Cosby, excluding his, his sins, whatever. That,
I'm at the show, not Bill.
Yeah. So the show itself, I mean, I heard it explained to me that it showed a black family just being them. Like, it wasn't. It didn't have a message of like a black family living in the ghetto, or a black family facing stereotypes, because a lot of TV is dramatized. A lot of movies are dramatized. It's exaggerated. Not to say that there's no truth in these things, but it is exaggerated. It's
It
art.
has to be entertaining.
Yeah.
It has to be entertaining. It has to draw a crowd. Yeah.
So like one reason why the Cosby Show was such a big hit is that it. Oh God, I'm trying to think of a good way to phrase it, but it was just it welcomed a large white audience to just a normal black family. Same with Fresh Prince.
I thought Fresh Prince was a little blacker. Cosby was a little bit white. And I hate saying that because it only makes sense, but I feel like Cosby was easier for us to watch and enjoy because it didn't make us uncomfortable.
Yeah.
His likes and interests aligned with ours so much. It just for that the character in that show, it felt like neighbors, which is good because it normalized black, like the black black. I don't know what you call it. Presence, I think, to some people. I think maybe it did to me because I wasn't around a lot of Bayou, but I saw him on TV shows. Fresh Prince was definitely leaned more and embraced more of the R&B and hip hop, where Bill Cosby was all about jazz. It was a interesting dichotomy.
Well, and like
you
he's
have the
a
Bernie Mac
doctor. His wife's a lawyer, I believe. Whatever.
Yeah, they're both upper middle class to lower upper class. I like the Bernie Mac show. I thought that show was very honest.
Yeah.
I enjoyed Bernie Mac a lot.
I liked Bernie Mac. I had a hard time with this show. Excuse me. I had a hard time with this show sometimes just because it was, I don't know. I loved his stand-up, but his show just seemed kind of removed from that. Like somebody else
he had a white token friend. He didn't at least didn't align with his white token friend.
Yeah. Well, it was because it seemed like it wasn't all his creativity, like somebody else was writing some jokes, because like you watch his stand up and it was just so genuine and just like
Bernie Mac's show seemed a little more censored, a little clean, definitely cleaner. It had to be. I don't know. I really fell in love with Bernie Mac. Like as a character, he was very I don't know. He was very admirable. Honorable, honest though.
Yeah.
He struggled.
A great TV dad.
Sometimes.
Great TV dad.
He messed up, but he come back and apologized eventually.
Yeah.
He was very stubborn though. He showed how he was open. I liked that he wrote him as like a flawed person, but a really cool character. Yeah, I was really sad when Bernie Mac died. I think he was a great comedian.
So do you think like overall that race relations are like heading in a better or worse direction?
For me personally, better. Internationally, I don't know.
Yeah.
I know that.
I mean, I don't care about other countries. I care about no. I'm just.
Yeah, but I mean, it's hard because
kidding.
it's all in video now.
Yeah.
I mean, can we say that relations are better in the 50s than they are today? I mean, I hope not. 60s, it seems more violent from what we're seeing, but I feel like
a lot of that's media.
I feel way more connected with my non-white friends than I did previously, and really a lot of it's been Clubhouse. A lot of it's been Clubhouse actually, and BLM shit. I live mostly in a white town, and I have a friend that's black, and I never realized, but like people make a lot of comments about his athleticism, a lot. And they make, and I didn't. I mean, like he was like, yeah, thanks, yeah,
no, I don't play basketball.
Good genes and shit. Anyway, but I never noticed how often it is. Like you have to go around literally hearing a quip about your ethnicity, little quips like every day. So every day you get a reminder that you don't quite belong here. You don't quite belong here.
Well,
and we can all be like your buddy and
tall
friends.
People or anybody that is outside the norm that looks a little bit different.
If you're foreign, if you're 8 foot tall, yes, same fucking thing.
Oh yeah.
You gotta hear it every day. And there's other stuff that I've heard in town that was just blatantly racist that was said to him. It was on Facebook actually. It was a comment, but we know the person. And I was like, dude, why didn't you fucking like rail on that guy? He goes, man, that guy lives 3 doors down from me. I mean, he's my neighbor.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, that just sucks. You have to put up with that stuff. He goes, yeah, it's just the way it is when you're black. I'm like, what? What it is? Like, yeah, bro. It happens. But I mean, he lives in a town where it's 95%. There's 5 black families in this town. There's 12,000 people here. 13,000 people here. So it's a small town. I think for me personally, getting better. I have friends that seem to be doing better healing from stuff they had to go through as a child in their childhood. But I'm white, so
Yeah.
I'm also oblivious to most of it.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah. I'm actually pretty mixed. I'm a standard American. I'm a mutt. Got large portion of Native, large portion of Irish. I got the Irish skin.
That's
So,
good. You could play them on everything then.
Yeah, a little bit. If I really wanted to play the oppression card, I could go, Irish this, Native American that, that sort of thing. From my perspective, it seems like the things that are getting better are definitely getting better.
What are those?
I would say I have seen. I'll just use Clubhouse because it's kind of a good example. I have seen more white people come into black spaces and be not only open to the idea that they might be wrong, but come in, such as you said earlier about walk past a black guy and your heart races a little bit, and you're like, what the hell's going on there? Like, I have seen more of that happen in both directions than I think I ever have my entire life.
Same for me, probably.
I do think that there is a small minority, though, that on both sides are becoming very, very radicalized. I've been in a few Clubhouse rooms where I was the only white person. I didn't speak, but it was a whole lot of very racist things. So, but it's that tiny minority is the loudest. So I think that's why things seem to be digressing, in my opinion.
I agree with you. I have to agree with you. I see the same thing. My experience at Clubhouse when I first came in, I went to some room where my friend that invited me to the club. I went into the room he was in, and he left as soon as I got in there. I didn't know how to leave the room. I just stayed there. It was a primarily black social room. I mean, I saw the people who were in that room when I first year I went there, and I just kind of made friends with people, talking about just stuff that I was involved in, my views on racism and politics and stuff like that, which did not align with the room, but we made some common ground. And what I realized, hanging out with that group, was we have so much in common. We talked about the same trauma for our parents. We all have the same kind of parents, dealing with the same shit with our kids. Like, the color of their skin and the way that they spoke was the only thing different. They were exactly like any other group in my same socioeconomic slice of America.
Yeah.
But then I've gotten into some other rooms where I had I'm assuming they were money, but conservative white people, conservative black people as well, that were talking about bootstrapping, and just they need to just pull themselves up and work harder.
Almost like they're reading from a teleprompter.
Well, in ways, I mean, I have seen racism. I have seen racism in my time. I've seen kids that were abused because of their skin color by adults, and so I know it exists. So you have to realize that even though we're all going through stuff, it's worse being a certain color of skin in this country. Your chance of getting beaten up, killed, harassed is much higher with certain colors of skin. So be compassionate towards those people. And I realize they're the same as fucking me. They listen to almost the same music I listen to too. I mean, not all of them, but most of them do. So realizing that I had more in common with them because of our socioeconomic level than I do with white people that own a Tesla and have 3 houses was a huge eye opener for me. We eat the same meals. We do the exact same shit that rich people don't do, no matter what their skin color is.
Yeah, exactly.
So and I still I had to stop hanging out with that group as much because they're all Christians, and I started to get a little notoriety for my perspectives. But I still invite them in rooms, talk to them once in a while. They're really good people, and they opened my eyes to a lot of problems I didn't know existed.
Yeah, I can agree. It's been interesting. Like I said, I've seen the polar opposites. One of the reasons I've stuck with Clubhouse, every once in a while, I'll take a break. I'll take a week off if things get super heavy. Maybe a day or two or whatever. But sometimes you get in a conversation and you're up all night. But
oh, really?
Oh, yeah. Oh yeah, easily.
18 hours, like 18 hours straight on
Yeah.
Clubhouse. You're like, what is wrong with me?
Yeah, exactly. I just
You're
can't
lazy,
let
bro.
it go.
That's why you're lazy. You need to talk to people because you're locked in your house with COVID.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's been an interesting window, in my opinion, into a lot of current issues because I mean, there's oddly enough I would say few Hispanic people. It seems. I mean, obviously, I have.
On Clubhouse?
Oh yeah,
You're right. I didn't notice that. I didn't realize it just now.
Yeah,
At least not from like inside
interesting,
the U.S.
right?
Hispanic. Yeah.
and a lot of them aren't based in U.S. or at least they aren't currently. Like they might have been born U.S. citizens, but they're usually living abroad, or they went back to the
Why is
country.
that?
I don't know. I have no idea. It is mainly a white and black platform.
It is.
Statistically,
And
I would
Middle
say.
Eastern.
Yeah, Middle
and
Eastern.
and Egyptian or not Egyptian. Sorry, Indian and African too.
Yeah, Indian Clubhouse.
Europe's there too. A lot of Europeans too, but yeah, South America. No one from Mexico. I haven't talked to a single Latina or Latino from the U.S.
Yeah,
Not yet.
I mean, maybe one. Like, but yeah, it's really interesting. But it's been an interesting window into even some of those terribly racist rooms. If I turned around and said the same things, and if the races were reversed in those comments, then it would be all over the news. But even being in that, like it was still eye-opening to me, and I did learn something from it. Definitely didn't want to be around or associated with people like that, regardless of what color they are. Ignorant ideas regardless.
I like the Hebrew Israelites.
I've had
And
good
not all of them.
conversations with some.
Me too.
So
Nation of Islam. I have friends in the Nation of Islam. My first time on the stage, I got invited up by one of my friends, and on stage, I called a white devil once or twice before they introduced me. Because I was going to talk, and they were like, we don't listen to you talk. And he's like booting the audience, listen to my guests, let them talk. Yeah, the Hebrew Israelites, I've been booed out of those rooms a couple times too, but I made friends in there. Like, it's like not all ideologies aren't crazy.
Yeah.
People are crazy. And sometimes an ideology has people that actually holds on to it for good rational reasons.
Yeah.
And to find that person, it kind of helps you understand what the real foundation of a movement is. The Nation of Islam was very, very interesting. I didn't realize some of their struggles, like listening to Muslims from outside the U.S. come in and call them, a false religion. I've heard people attack Catholicism as being a false Christianity. I've heard the Sunnis and Shias going at it in rooms, debating about who's the most Muslim. And then we hear in Christians all the time. We hear the Mormon Church getting called apostate or heretics and shit. And I mean, it's interesting. Even within every atheist, even atheists, we have internal fights over things like free will and objective versus subjective morality and all kinds of other stuff. It's not really violent, but with the atheist group, you have evangelical atheists that really think we need to convert people, and then people like myself that don't give a shit what everybody else thinks and doesn't care to change anyone. Yeah, so it's been eye-opening because I didn't realize. I guess it makes sense that every human group has little schisms in the middle of it. But I didn't realize how ubiquitous it was. Like every group, even the colorists within the black community, people have darker skin that want to be considered a bigger victim.
Yeah.
I'd never been exposed to that stuff until Clubhouse. I had no idea these dichotomies existed. So it's been very educational to me.
Yeah, it's interesting. So I can say the one thing that I have grown to really dislike, and it's always bothered me, but it bothers me now just because I'm faced with it more often because of these platforms like Clubhouse. But it's the comment, and I've heard this come from even white people, but black people, brown people, all colors of people will say, "Those damn white people," and it's like I get it, but if I turned around and said that about black people, like that would not be okay. And I just don't like that double standard or that double think. It's like, okay, you can claim like those specific shitty white people that have really terrible ideas. Yeah, get very specific because I'm not them. So don't group me with them. So that's the one thing I've really been bothered by. But I mean,
think
I
it's
don't
funny as
bitch about
shit.
it.
I get what you mean, man. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, and I don't think I'm gonna. Well, okay, some people say it do mean it. But
Yeah.
A lot of it are just like, yeah, fucking white people. Like I say that quite often. Actually,
I
like,
do too,
day-to-day.
actually.
But that's I live around all white people. It's all I have to yell at. You know, they're exactly as white as me. What the fuck am I gonna do? But I mean, the thing is this though. Like, look, there was a time when being black after dark could get you lynched.
Yeah.
I don't know of any time in the U.S. like that for white people. So it's been in a lot of ways. We've kind of had okay. So if you want to say fuck whitey, why are you looking at me? All right, man.
Well,
cool.
we've had it okay
that.
just out of pure numbers, you know, like just out of being the sheer majority statistically.
You know, if I have banks deny my loans over and over that look the same skin color as me, I'm not gonna say fucking white people. I say fucking banks, right?
Yeah.
But if you're a black family and every time you go someplace and see white people and they're being a dick to you, what are you gonna say? Fucking white people.
Yeah.
You know, even if it's not them. You know what I mean? Like it's just.
Yeah.
It's what's happened. It's what you see. It's what you think. Fine. If
Yeah.
you're still mad at people, you're mad at white people because of the stuff they did to you in the past. Great. Be mad. Whatever. I'm not going to change that. The thing is, though, eventually, we all got to figure out a solution. We need to figure out like how we're going to make it better, and that's going to have us like stop talking about fault and start focusing on responsibility. And whose responsibility is to move the ball. Yeah. I don't think we're there yet. I think that the whole fault thing, that needs to be processed still as a country. Like maybe some apologies need to be had by some people. I don't know. We're still there though, but eventually, got to move on. So, like, finding out, like, who's responsible, how are we going to fix this? Yeah. You know, and I came on Club with some big ideas as far as racial equality and helping out minority groups in my country, and I just realized that I'm just one person, and this country's not ready for that stuff yet.
But it always starts with one person. That's the thing. Like, no person is too small, and that's one thing I've really learned, is that just in general is that I've learned is that lead by example, you know? Just be the change you want to see. Like, it's so cliche, but it's true.
Well, it's not cliche. I mean, people don't understand what that really means. They think like, oh, well, if everybody was the change they wanted to see in this world, the way get things done. That's not what he meant. What he meant was, you only control you.
Yeah.
So fuck the rest of the world. If it needs to happen, you be that change in your world.
Yeah.
And once you are doing it, it doesn't matter what everybody else does. You have solved the problems. Make your life be the the one everyone wants to follow. Like make your life be the example. Don't speak about it. Hey, come on, guys, we need to go do this. Fuck that. Just go do it. Right?
Yeah.
You'll watch. Oh shit. Well, he's actually living it. We'll go follow him. People follow people that are doing. They don't follow people that are talking. So if you want to really make change this world, you're right. You're just one person. So fucking what? Go do it.
Yeah.
Nobody follows you. So fucking what? You're doing what you're supposed to be doing. Don't worry about it. Just go fucking live the life you need to live. If people follow it, great.
Yeah.
If they don't, fuck them.
Exactly.
You know?
I mean, I was always of the opinion, you know, it's like, I love being able to tell people I told you so. So it's like, there might be a group of people that are doing a bunch of shitty things, but I'm the only person doing the great thing. And then those people end up, you know, receiving the consequences of making shitty choices. And then I was just doing what I should have been doing for myself the whole time. And I get to turn around and be like, I told you so, you know? Like, I'm not trying to tell you how to live, but, you know.
If that brings you comfort, say, I told you so, I want that for you.
Yeah. Yeah, I try not to rub it in depending on who it is, but sometimes I really like the dig.
It's hard, though. It's hard being so right when everyone is so fucking wrong all the time.
It is. I'm a libertarian,
you want to rub it in their face a little bit?
Oh, that's crazy. That's so crazy. Well, what do you say we wrap it up? It's been a great conversation. And
has it?
I would say it has been.
I don't have fucking with you, bro. No, it has been. No, I'm glad you had me over here. I really like just listening to myself talk. So this has been very relaxing for me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, anytime.
So.
I would like to get you back on, and we can dive into some philosophy, because honestly, that's one of my favorite things. We could dive into
existentialism.
Oh yeah,
maybe some nominalism.
Yeah, of course.
The cynics, the stoics. Yeah, let's jump in.
Stoicism right here. So, you know.
I can talk shit about stoics for an hour easily.
Hell yeah. Well, we'll definitely have you back on then. It was a great conversation.
Cool. Jake, hey, I appreciate letting me on the show. I look forward to hearing this when it's out, and I look forward to seeing you on Clubhouse.
Oh yeah. Do you want to let everyone know where they can find you, or just come find you on Clubhouse?
Yeah, if I'm in a Clubhouse, look for Bishop Brash, Bishop. My middle name is Yarrow, Jaro, Brash, Brash, or just Bishop. You'll find me. And coming out, we talk about what atheism, theism, agnosticism, Santaism, Satanism. We have all kinds of ism we talk about in that app. It's a great app. Come join us.
Yeah, indeed. And you can find me over there, just Jacob Johnson. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I will call that a wrap. Don't forget to go to risetoliberty.com, risetoliberty.com/blue dress for that special piece of merch so we can get some money over to help some kids. So on that note, once again, it was a pleasure. Thank you for coming on.